Week 7 of the 2025-26 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. This is Run It Back, NBA Week in Review. I'm Jose Salviati, editor at thebeachbasket.net, and this is the show where we recap the week that was in the NBA and then highlight the marquee matchup for the week to come. We start, like we always do, with the only objective overall top 10 NBA power rankings anywhere. You can read more about how we get to these rankings, why they're objective, and see the entire list at thebeachbasket.net. Let's take a look at the top 10 at the conclusion of week number 7. Let's start at number 10, where the New York Knicks had a pretty good week. In week number 7, they were 3-1, but that wasn't enough to keep them where they were last week. That was number 9. They dropped 1 to take the number 10 spot. Number 9 are the Toronto Raptors. Now, they were off to a really good start, but had a bit of a road bump in week number 7, going 1-3, and that cost them. They dropped from number 6 to number 9 in week number 7. The Boston Celtics are going in the other direction. They started off a little bumpy, and now they're starting to get their bearings. They had a 4-0, a perfect 4-0 week in week number 7, which was enough to move them way up into the number 8 spot. First time in the top 10 for the Boston Celtics. The Miami Heat were 1-3, struggled a bit in week number 7, and it cost them. They dropped 2 spots to take the number 7 spot in week number 7. The Los Angeles Lakers were without Luka Dončić for part of the week. LeBron James lost his double-digit streak, but they still had a good, okay week, let's call it, at 2-2. Week number 7, they dropped 1 spot to number 6. The San Antonio Spurs, oddly enough, were also 2-2, but that moved them up from number 8 to number 5, and that is because our rankings are points-based. We care only about who you win, where you beat them. And the San Antonio Spurs beat a really good Orlando Magic team that was just enough to catapult them up. This week, they come in at number 5. The Denver Nuggets were also 2-1 in week number 7. And that saw them move up, 3 spots from number 7 up to number 4. The top 3 stay exactly the same. The Houston Rockets were 3-2 in week number 7. They remain at number 3. The Detroit Pistons were 3-1 in week number 7, remain at number 2. And the number 1 team was once again perfect. The absolutely incredible and seemingly unbeatable Oklahoma City Thunder had a perfect week at 3-0. In week number 7, they're 22-1 overall and come in at number 1 yet again. That's it. That's the objective top 10 list for week number 7. If you want to see where all 30 teams land this week, please visit thepeachbasket.net. Now let's shift our focus to the players. These are the best to do it by average in week number 7 of the 2025-26 NBA season. These are the best by average in shooting, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, points, and game score. Let's start with the best overall scorer. He plays in Los Angeles. Luka Dončić had 2 games, averaged 36 points to lead the association. Now, the best sniper, the best three-point maker in week number 7 may surprise you. Michael Porter Jr. is having a heck of a season. In Brooklyn, he played 3 games and averaged more made three-point shots than anybody at 5.7. He was also the top field goal maker over his 3 games played again, averaging 12.3. The best rebounder is Jalen Johnson. He had 4 games and was just a stud, pulling down 14.3 rebounds over those 4 games. Mitchell Robinson was the top offensive rebounder, pulling down 4.7 in his 3 games played. And Jalen Johnson, again, was the top defensive rebounder, pulling down 12.5 defensive rebounds. Let's move to assists. The top assists man in week number 7 was once again not a guard. It was once again Nikola Jokic. 4 games, 11 assists. He is in a class by himself. The top blocks guys definitely going to surprise some people. Jay Huff played 4 games and sent back 3.5 shots. The journeyman may have found a home. Let's certainly hope so in Indiana. That's a heck of a week for Jay Huff. The top steals guy played 1 game. PJ Washington took away 5 possessions from the other team to lead everybody in week number 7. And the best player in the NBA had the best game score, 29.9, depicting his overall incredibleness. Nikola Jokic played 4 games and had the best game score, 29.9. Now let's look ahead to week number 8. Week number 8, we have the quarterfinals and the semifinals of the NBA Cup. I don't know what you think about it. I don't know, man. I can't get behind it yet, but we'll see, what history tells us. Let's see how long they do it. Let's see if people get behind it. But this mid-season or quarter season tournament goes into play next week. And the big question, of course, is can anyone stop the Oklahoma City Thunder? They're going to take on the Phoenix Suns in the in the quarterfinals. The winner there takes on either the Spurs or the Lakers on their way to the NBA Cup Finals, which is a weird game that doesn't count. It doesn't count for anything. The stats don't count, but you get to raise a trophy. Let's see how that plays out. That'll be next week, but certainly the quarters and the semis are the NBA Finals are, the NBA Cup Finals are in 2 weeks. The quarter and the semifinals are next. Now, we'll end our segment with what we call full court press. I like to ask AI for its thoughts on viral trending NBA news as we head into week number 8 and see what it comes up with. And this is what it said. Harden's historic scoring climb. He cracked the top 10 in the all-time scoring list. Congrats to James Harden. A little sliver of positivity in LA and an otherwise horrible start to the season. Of course, the Thunder's blistering start, they're 22-1. That's a big news, no doubt. Anthony Davis, he's taking over the Mavs, and somewhere Nico Harrison is muttering, I told. Let's see if that can keep up, and let's see if Kyrie can come back, and then who knows. And then Pat Spencer's viral breakout. He's having a moment in San Francisco. And the last thing that AI said is big news in the NBA are the Knicks, the Magic, and some injury ripples, which unfortunately is always the case in the NBA. For the first time since I've been doing this, I'm not going to talk about any of those. So I want to focus on something that's not on AI's list, and that is this. Is Steve Ballmer bad for the Los Angeles Clippers? Now, I know that's a crazy thought. Saying that even a month ago would have been considered ridiculous. This is the guy that saved the franchise from the previous owner. He injected enthusiasm and money, lots of money, into a franchise with very little positive history. Thanks in large part to his efforts, the tide was turning in LA. The Clippers were the better regular season team. It is undeniable. They were better than the Lakers for a long time, not losing a single season series to them. Despite all of that, the team was never able to get what they wanted, of course, a championship. But how could this guy, the guy who did all that, be considered bad for the team? Blake Griffin recently said about Steve Ballmer. Now, he didn't say directly about Ballmer, but the shoe fits. An organization is built on a foundation of respect. It's built on how you treat people. And for an NBA franchise, it's built on how you treat your players. Blake Griffin and Chris Paul were undeniably among the best ever doing the Clippers jersey. They are Clippers royalty. If the Clippers ever are to raise a jersey in the Intuit Dome, those two have got to be considered. And both were unceremoniously cut from the team that they helped raise from the ashes. An organization is built on a foundation of respect. It's built on how you treat people. Steve Ballmer wants a winner in Inglewood, and he should. That's the job. The previous owner wanted money. He didn't want a winner. He didn't care whether his teams won or not, and it was just a horrible time during his ownership. For that and a bunch of other reasons, I'd much rather have an owner that wants to win, but not at the expense of the players. Was CP3 loud and opinionated? Sure, of course, but that's who he has always been. And surely the Clippers knew that when they signed him. To let him go, this is a bad look for the franchise and leaves a stain on an otherwise amazing run for Steve Ballmer. The Clippers will need to retool and rebound soon because I don't know that there's any quick escape from what they find themselves in right now as a franchise. Don't you think great players will think about what happened to Blake Griffin and CP3 when they consider offers from the Clippers a few years from now? They will. They'll think about it. And it just may cost them the chance to return to competitive basketball as quickly as they would no doubt. Steve Ballmer might need to learn to balance winning with good old-fashioned respect for others. Hopefully for the Clippers and their incredible fans, he learns that lesson soon. That's it. Week number 7 of the 2025-26 NBA season is in the books. Join us again next week after week number 8 when we once again run it back.